All right, here we go, people. Season 1, episode 25, the Nikki and Fitz show with our guest Lucian Romano
Yes,
stepping into
sir.
the hot seat.
Yes, sir. Ready to go.
Good to see you, Lou.
Thank you
Lou
for having me.
Lou's one of my close friends. An expert on a lot of topics,
Master of
mostly
none. Master of none.
mostly the sports gambling topic we're going to talk about tonight.
I
He
like
is
throwing units. I like
he's
throwing
hooked.
units.
He's hooked.
Units, baby, units.
You're hooked.
I'm all in.
All right, speaking of that, let's recap the Super Bowl. Game
Great
sucked.
game.
And then
Great
it got
game. I mean,
great.
that's all. NFL is everything. It's popular.
That game was so slow on the upkeep at the beginning. I was like, is Mahomes good? Now, I'm a big fan, never bet against Mahomes, ever,
Correct.
because he just
I,
gets
I
it
did. I
done.
did the week before or
and
2 weeks before.
and how'd that work? Oh, it worked
I
out
got burned.
fine.
Burned 7 units.
No, no, no. They beat the Ravens.
No, no, no.
Oh, you bet against them, right?
I bet
Right,
against them. I bet
right,
against them.
right, right. I, I I just didn't think they were going to lose that game, and I was right. I didn't think Purdy played that bad. I thought he played pretty good. In the big moments, they didn't make the big plays. They didn't have the key blocks, the key catches. There was just champions
I mean,
find a way to win.
yeah, that was the biggest thing for me. I mean, again, Purdy. I mean, how was Purdy going to beat Mahomes? Period. I mean, you know, uh, it just that there's no competition. There's no comparison. Yes, they all have good defenses, good parts and pieces. Both have offensive weapons, but at the end of the game, as you saw, Mahomes took it. So, but
It was 52 players on the team, Lou. So let's just not say it's them two against each other. But in the end, Mahomes made the play. I mean, you got Kyle Shanahan taking the ball first because he didn't know the new rule. That's the amateur hour at the Apollo there. All right.
oh, that's a big miss. I mean, even if it wasn't the new rules, you would hope they would make a stop and then, Kansas or 49ers would get a chance to, make the next play. But like you
Yeah.
said, with the new rules, even if 49ers scored a touchdown, you know, uh, Kansas City gets another opportunity.
Yeah. But you want to be on the backside of that because you go for it on fourth down like Kansas City did because they knew they had to score at
Yep.
least three minimum, and they weren't in field goal position there. So it forces you to play a little more aggressive, and I think with more of a desire to win
Yep.
as opposed to going first, where they could have gone for it on fourth down there. Not that they should have, but kicking the field was probably the smart play. Um, but just a missed block because they had a guy, Ayuk was running crazy open across the middle on that play,
Yes.
and Purdy couldn't catch him because he was getting blindsided. It was an exciting Super Bowl, though. I mean, and I wasn't sure about the end of the first quarter if they had to get that ball off before the quarter ended, but they didn't. They would have just gone to the second quarter. They would have just gone to the other side and finished the play because they had two field goals, two timeouts, and Mahomes not calling timeout. He's
I thought the same thing exactly, and like you said, they were just trying to run that play, and if that didn't happen, they would have gone into the next quarter.
Yeah. I didn't
So
know that though. I found
yeah,
out
neither
later.
did I. Neither did I. Neither did the announcers. Anybody. I mean,
Right.
Tony Romo was talking about, oh, he's got to take the timeout. Take the timeout. I mean, nobody did. I
Romo's
don't
an
think anybody
idiot.
had any key on it.
Romo is a complete buffoon, all right? I mean, he just rambles some stupid shit and nobody I mean, I think even Nance is getting tired of his stick, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I
He's
don't
no
know. I think
Troy
as the
Aikman.
announcers as a whole across the league, I mean, I think they're just trying to either do too much or Romo stick of trying to call out the play or guess
Yeah,
the play.
yeah.
Just call it like you see it. I mean, you don't need anything. I mean, the game sells itself.
He missed a lot of the called plays too. He's like, all right, in this play, they should definitely run the ball. And then Mahomes throws a beautiful pass across the middle. That was a great pass. I mean, have some conviction to what you believe in, I guess, is what I'm trying.
Yep.
I'm not a big fan of his. I mean, he's a cowboy. I rooted for him in Dallas, but that was about it.
Yep.
And he choked in Dallas as well. So good Super Bowl, a
Was
classic, right?
well, classic. It just keeps getting more and more popular. Didn't really care for the halftime show. Myself personally thought it was a
Right.
little slow, but to get into forecasting on the sports betting, 100 and
Oh,
180,
hang on, hang on.
185 million.
I know, I saw that. We're gonna get to that topic.
Yep.
Hold on, that's a lot of money. It's lot of cash.
Yeah.
That was just in
Unbelievable.
Nevada, by the way. That was not
Yeah, I didn't get if that was Nevada, or if that was on site at the game.
just Nevada.
Gotcha.
That was just in Nevada, 185 million.
Yeah.
All right. Chip Kelly leaves
I don't get it. I
UCLA.
mean, it's jumping around. I guess good for him, good for his family, good for making a move, but it's got a lot of a lot of stuff in his wake as far as leaving.
I've been to Westwood and I've been to Columbus. Let's just say Westwood's a lot nicer than Columbus. Okay, that's number one. I mean, Westwood is literally a stone's throw from the ocean.
Yeah.
Okay, that's number one. Number two is you cannot leave a head coaching job for an OC job. That is just unless you want out of that job, which apparently he interviewed for some OC jobs last year in the NFL and interviewed for the Philly job this year in the NFL, which Philly's not going to hire him as the OC when he was the head coach there before. I
Right.
mean, this is a guy with serious pedigree.
Yeah.
Oregon, Philadelphia. I mean, he had UCLA. He's had some good jobs, man.
Unprecedented. I mean, I know him and Day are good buddies, friends.
Right.
So I get it as far as wanting to be with him. But
Yeah.
Ohio State is loaded up, and is he looking for then the next move? If they win the national championship, does that really springboard him into something even bigger and better? I don't know, but unprecedented of going from head coach to OC.
It's not a it's a backward move instead of it's not even a lateral move. It's a move down.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. But I mean, is it trying to fix part of the reputation? I mean, he was floundering. He wasn't doing very good at
Oh no, yeah, yeah,
UCLA. So why not get on board with a monster of Ohio State? That's going to have all the big games, prime time events. That gets him out there.
yeah. And recruiting, I mean, they loaded up in the portal. Their team's going to be.
Yeah.
I picked them to win the championship next
Oh,
year.
they have to be the favorite.
Yeah,
And in talking about recruiting, I mean, he's a great recruiter, which is certainly going to help, bolster
yeah,
Ohio State. But
yeah.
I don't know. I still, you never want to, go down. You always want to keep going to the next spot, bigger
Right,
spot.
right. It's
That's
like
just,
you were the chef, now you're the hostess. It's
yeah,
like, what are you doing, man? You went from chef to a host.
yep,
How does that happen? So, not a great move, but there's definitely a reason for it. It's not just he's not just like acting stupid. He's calculated. He's making a
yeah,
move for a reason. Then they hired Deshaun Foster, who played for them. Great player for UCLA. Good hire. Um, when they hire quickly, it's typically because they want to save players in the program, and he's an alum. So I haven't checked the portal this week to see how many players they've lost. But every time a coach leaves, they get 30 days to get out. Players they get 30 days extended to the portal. So
yep.
I'm assuming there'll be some guys that leave.
I think it's a smart hire by them. I mean, like you
Yeah.
said, he was at UCLA. He was, Hall of Famer there. Did great.
Yep.
Has a good pedigree. Has done very well as a assistant everywhere. It just hasn't been a head coach, so
Right.
automatically on the hot seat of you have to perform. But I don't know. I mean, he wasn't even a coordinator. So
Yeah.
it's a big jump, but I get it as far as UCLA. I mean, he was an assistant there. He's familiar with that, and like I
Yeah.
said, being the man there helps.
Yeah. I think that's a good hire for them.
And young, I mean, again,
Yeah.
we've had conversations about that of, he's what, 40, 45, something like that. And,
Yeah.
can relate to the kids, played the game.
Yeah.
Um, he's not the old guy that, nobody's going to respect.
Right. Right. Bill O'Brien, who's had some real good gigs as well at head coach of the Texans in the NFL, head coach at Penn State, Alabama OC. I didn't know this, but you brought this up that he was just hired at Ohio State to be the OC.
Yep,
And
3 weeks.
then the Boston College opens up because their coach quit to go to the NFL because he was to be an OC in the NFL because he was like, I can't deal with the portal,
Yep.
the nil. It's too much. So
Yeah.
he left college.
Correct.
That is a great hire for Boston College. I mean, there's no way they should get someone as good as Bill O'Brien to come there. Now I know he's a local New England guy. He coached for the Patriots.
Yep.
So I think that's a really good hire. That
Yeah.
could be a really success story there for Boston College.
I agree. And another one of, you bring in somebody from the NFL. Does that get you, able to recruit, saying, hey, I can get you into the NFL. He's brought on some other NFL coaches on his staff. So,
Yeah.
that's another great hire. Can't disagree at all.
It's about money now, Lou, not about who you can bring in the NFL. Players just care about one thing is cash right now. That's
Yeah.
all recruiting has come down to.
Yep.
Chris Holtman, basketball coach at the Ohio State University, fired. Mid-season firing. Unbelievable. I mean, they're terrible. They've been bad for 3-4 years. He has not been very good. They got dudes, they got players, man. He's putting
Sure.
guys in the NBA, so you got players.
Yep.
He's just not getting it done game day. And he's out mid-season, man. Wow. I mean, that pretty much their season's done now. They tanked at
Yep.
this point.
And again, that just like you said, that hurts the kids, hurts the university, makes the university look bad.
Yeah.
That they would be willing to fire somebody, mid-season. And really, you feel bad for the players. I mean, it's they're giving up their lives to play, and we're recruited by that coach, and it just really kind of sets things back. It's bad business.
Mass exodus at the end of the year.
Has to be.
I predict there will be.
Has to be.
And the biggest reason you're on the show, outside of Nick not being able to make it tonight, is our title of our show today, sports gambling. Is it a problem or just innocent fun? I mean, I think it's a little bit of both, right?
100% both.
All right, so I want to
everything with moderation.
Exactly. Want to tell a quick story. So I'm at a Super Bowl party this weekend, and I'm talking to a 24-year-old girl, Maryland grad. So we'll talk about Maryland. I'll keep her name, in the dark for right now. And I just out of the blue, because we're all doing our squares and who's betting on the game, right? The apps are out. Everyone's picking squares. I said, "So are you gambling?" She goes, "Oh yeah." I said, "This is a female now, mind you." I said, "Your friends gamble?" "Oh yeah, we all gamble, all of us." I'm like, "Really?" I was like, "Are you into sports?" She goes, "I am, but the idea of making money that quickly is, it's enticing." Yeah,
Sure.
so we're all gambling. We're not gambling a lot. We'll bet $5, $10, whatever, but it's not, but we're all gambling. This is someone who was a cheerleader, so I guess she was into sports, but this is not somebody you would think would be a gambler.
Yeah.
Now her brother, I would say, yeah, he's definitely gambling, but she probably is. But here, the thing of it is college kids are gambling, young professionals are gambling, old professionals are gambling, everybody's gambling. Have you ever done any research where all this money is going to the state of Maryland's making on this?
No. I mean, I've heard, again, when the casinos opened, it was supposed to go towards education and different
Right,
things.
right.
I don't know. I don't know what what goes where, and I don't know enough about me with a DraftKings account in Maryland. Where does that money go? In DraftKings to Maryland versus other areas. I don't know. But it's unbelievable, billions and billions of dollars. It's a game changer right now, and like you said, everybody's talking about it. Everybody's doing it.
185 million gamble in the Super Bowl just in Nevada. I would hazard a guess it's in the $2-3 billion range for the Super Bowl nationally. 50
Uh,
states?
yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Well,
I was looking it up. 2020, it was $1 billion in revenue as far as sports gambling. Supposedly, it's 6 times that now as far as this
yeah.
year, and then now they're predicting going to $19 billion. I mean, it's massive, massive amounts of money.
How many states do you know? How many? I think it's 22 states. Is that what it is? Do you
20,
know?
28 states
20.
that have legal online sports gambling, and then depending on the state, some of it is just the sports gambling, some of it you can do horses, and then some you can do the table games. But the 28 have the sports gambling, and it's a matter of time where it'll go to 50. I mean, all
Some
50 will get
form
in.
of it, though, right? Not all, because I know some of them you can only do it on the phone.
Yes,
Some of them you can only do it live, right? It
yes,
depends on the state, right?
yeah.
So
There's
I've
different
looked into
rules.
that.
Yep,
Yeah. So I mean, there's this money's supposed to go to education. We got to have the smartest kids growing up now, right? I mean, they got to be brilliant.
nicest schools and making just Einsteins. Yes,
Well,
correct.
here's the thing. Here's the thing, Lou. My wife Shelly is starting to work at MCPS, Montgomery County Public Schools, one of the biggest, richest school districts in the country. Right? We're in Maryland, so
Yep.
it should be getting some of that revenue. They are on a spending freeze. Can't even get pencils, erasers, paper. They got to bring their own supplies from home for the school. So the money obviously is not trickling down to education. Do you think it's just going to the general fund, the slush fund, the state surplus fund? I don't. Who's getting that money?
Yeah.
Let's.
No, it's
That's
a
a
great
question.
question.
Yeah,
Huge
that's a
question.
question to ask, man. So it's definitely not going to schools, or they would have paper at her school, to the
Yeah.
elementary school. So I it's I got into it. Obviously, I'm into it. I like it. I have a certain amount that I'm willing to spend and lose. You got to be willing to lose whatever you're willing to
Yes.
spend, because you're going to lose it. It's an
100%.
ebb and flow of what of the sport of doing it,
Yeah.
of the activity. What do you how do you see the ebb and flow working? I mean, what do you see? You don't have to
Like
talk personally. If you want to, you can, but you don't have to.
like you started the start. I mean, is it a problem or is it fun? It's both. I mean, and that's with everything. That's eating, that's drinking, that's drugs, that's everything. And if you get hooked, you can go down a dark hole. But it's I think on the dark hole side. I mean, it's scary that all these free plays and booths and all the advertisements. I mean, it's everywhere now. I mean, you can't get away from it. So um, everybody is trying it. And again, I started Thanksgiving last year, and it was put in up to whatever it was, $2,000. I put in 500. They matched it. All of a sudden, I got $1,000, and you go off to the races. And
Yeah.
at the start, it was again feeding you the drugs. Oh well, if the Cowboys make one pass completion, you win. And it was up to a $50 bet. So here's another $100. Here's this. Here's that. Here's a little taste. So I mean, they certainly know what they're doing as far as
Oh
trying to
yeah.
get people
Yeah,
hooked.
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
And
it's
I don't know how many different programs there are now, or services. I mean, it's got to be 10, 15 different services. But then back to like the kids side, there's I don't know what to call it other than offshore or whatever, flip accounts and different things that you can bet 25 cents, 10 cents, a
yeah,
dollar. But
yeah.
you have to make a certain amount of dollars before you can even get the money back out of it.
Yeah, the flip
But
doesn't verify your age either.
correct, exactly. So to your point, everybody is doing it, but it's I don't know. I mean, but on the other side, I mean, I think it's fun. I like the sweat. I like the action. I like to have money on the games. But honestly, 9 times out of 10, I'm not even watching the games. I'm just picking the games to try and win money. Period.
That's where we're different. If I put action in a game, I gotta watch it.
Yeah.
I gotta torture myself, either
Well,
with the elation of the W or the depression of the loss. I have
yes,
to be watching it. It
yes,
definitely makes you watch a game completely different.
yes.
whoever you bet on, you are
Oh,
rooting for them no
trust me,
matter what.
Super Bowl. I jumped into my brother-in-law's arms at the end of the game there, because I hit the you know Chiefs money line, the under. I had the Chiefs, +2. Huge. I mean, I had I won just short of $2,000 just on the Super Bowl, and yes, it makes it much more exciting, much more invested, to
The
say the
under
least. I
was
mean,
the under was tricky, by the
I
way.
got 3 units on Towson basketball tonight. I don't even know who
Oh
they're playing.
God, no! Please, no, 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 no.
No, I
The,
mean,
the
and it is definitely addicting, to say the least. I mean, it's everything in moderation, but it's too easy with the
it
cell
is.
phones.
It is.
Morning, noon, and night. There's something you can bet on, and that's the other thing. I mean, whether it's tennis, table tennis, you can bet on anything.
Please no.
That
Please
they'll
no.
take action on. But it is also, it's amazing the different services. Like, so me personally, I've got a FanDuel account and a DraftKings account. You get different lines, for different games. One spot might be a plus 105. Over here, it's a minus 110. So it's amazing. You could get different quote unquote deals. Different sites, and then to the point back of different states, like state of Maryland, you couldn't bet on Gatorade color and different things. So I don't even know who makes these rules and how these rules are made. To set up these online accounts of
Right.
what you could do different places. But
I
uh,
think the provider of the account is who does it. Whoever.
yeah, well, so, I mean, some place like Virginia, in Virginia, you can't bet on a Virginia game. So I mean, if my son goes to JMU, if I'm at the JMU basketball game and I'm in JMU, I can't even bet on the game, but I could
Thank
drive
God.
over the I
Thank
could
God.
drive over the line and then place a couple units and then come back.
Somebody's trying to save you from yourself. Okay. I let's talk about the over under on this rule, by the way, because I heard it went as low as 46 and a half. I saw it at 48. You
Yep,
saw it
I
at
got
48?
in at 48. Yes,
48 even?
yes, 48 even.
Okay, I saw it at 48 as well. But somebody I heard on the radio got it to 46 and a half. So those
Oh,
people,
it was 46. So DraftKings right at the beginning of the game, it was 46 and a half, and
oh, okay.
it was plus 105 Chiefs money line right at the start of the game.
Okay. So that's a kick in the teeth, right? That
Yep.
is a kick in the teeth with the overtime. But the guys who had 48, they
Big
they
win. Big win.
it's a big dub because there's no extra points in overtime.
No, exactly. That was my one brother-in-law. He's like, "Oh my God, they're going to hit the kick the extra point now, and we're gonna push." I was like, "No, it's over.
It's done.
Overtime, it's done."
Yeah. Yeah. All right, that was fun though. I mean, it was good. I mean, it's prevalent. Guys are getting busted. College kids are getting busted. Keyshawn Butte from LSU bet over
Yep,
8,900 times. They busted him. Um, the kid from the Jameson Williamson from the Lions got busted for
yep,
gambling on the Lions.
yep,
So these guys got to, they're trying to circumvent it by getting their moms or girlfriends or sisters, their
yep.
brothers to bet for them, their
and,
buddies.
and that's definitely a concern, and we've talked about that, of just
Yeah.
some of these things that happen in these games are just makes your head scratch, of
Yeah.
somebody have some money on the game, to
Oh,
not make that catch, to not make that shot, or whatever it is. It makes you think that something else is going on. And Vegas is very smart. I mean, some of these lines, some of these overs, unders,
yeah.
totals, it's amazing how close things are.
Yeah.
But it's the only one point before we move on was, what about, like, the bookies, and of the illegal side of things, now making it legal, is that going to change anything? Of Again, now, you tie it to a credit card, you just you pay as you go, versus you know uh, having a bookie and you run up a total, and then somebody wants to break your arm. There's a lot of there's a lot of different facets to this thing,
Are bookies still in
positive
business?
and negative.
Are
I
bookies?
think they probably are, just like regular drug dealers are. I mean,
Why?
you I would I had no I would have no idea. I mean, other than old school, not into the technology, phones, whatever, flip phones, don't have a smartphone. But yeah, I mean, why you wouldn't use the online? Other than you have to pay taxes on it if you start winning a lot of money.
Oh,
Where
right.
the bookie, it's cash, and so yeah, it'll never go away. But it's certainly safer as far as the average Joe and wanting to bet.
Yeah, I think they definitely took a hit when this legalized. All right, let's go. The last week, Nikki went 8-9. I went 10-7, and Adam, who's our guest last week, went 11-6, picking
Whoa,
pretty much blind. Um,
nice.
yeah, we had some good games. Um, Upset of the week, I got to be Gonzaga versus Kentucky. Gonzaga flies across the country into hostile territory at Rupp Arena, 6.5 point underdog, and beats them flat out. And I
That's
watched
huge.
a lot of that game. That was a big win for them. Really resume builder for them because they really haven't had that. They aren't the usual Gonzaga team that's loaded. They're a good team, but they're not loaded. So going to Kentucky, that's a good win. Kentucky's now lost 4 in a row though, so there's something going on there.
Yes.
In terms of going to a game this week, I would go to the Seton Hall St. John's game. At MSG, we've been to a game there. It's an
Great
unbelievable
time.
atmosphere.
Great venue.
Yeah, New York's a great venue. We went. We ended up going to like a happy hour or a tailgate beforehand at a local bar right next to the stadium, drinking beers at 9 a.m. And that was a lot of fun, man. In New York, you can do some damage or you can have a good time there. You can
And
ask.
and I would assume with two local teams there, I mean that's gonna get a lot of extra fans and
Yeah,
everybody hooting and hollering and a really great time.
yeah. And the Johnnies have been drawing well. I think with Seton Hall coming to town, they have a lot of local alum right there in New York. They're a New Jersey school, so that would be a lot of fun. I would highly recommend if you've never been to go to a game at MSG. It is an unbelievable atmosphere. It is,
Totally agree.
yeah, great stadium, great crowds. We saw Maryland lose to a 7-18 Illinois team that was the best 7-1 team I've ever seen in my life. I mean,
Yes,
they dismantled Maryland.
I was a part of the great Fernando travel squad
Yeah, that was
that
that was a lot of fun.
come up with another loss.
Another L, right?
Yes,
Took the L. All right, ready to make your picks this week?
ready.
Temple at FAU, Finash University. Finash is a 9 point favorite.
I'm first. Temple.
Yeah, you're always first.
Yep. Temple.
Getting 9.
Yep. Give him the 9.
I'll take them too. Duke, a 5 point favorite at FSU in Tallahassee.
I'm taking FSU. I mean, Duke is not who they've been, but being a fellow Maryland fan, I can never pick Duke.
Yep, I like FSU there too at home. I actually like them maybe even to win that game because they're athletic. Duke's not athletic. I mean, if Duke gives them a cold streak, they're done. NC State versus Clemson. Clemson's a 4 point favorite at home,
Clemson, like the home team.
and they just beat Miami.
Yep.
So I'm gonna take Clemson as well. We got the same things. Illinois on the road, 7 point favorite, a top 10 team against Maryland,
Taking Maryland.
and the seven.
I'm the homer. Yep.
I like Maryland the 7. I don't know if they win that game, but I think it'll be close.
Yep.
We've beaten them 12 out of 13 times, by the way. Just own Illinois. I don't know why. Just some
So
freaking.
you're telling me the one game we went to is the one that they won?
That's the only game they won against us. 12 out of 13. That's it. That's the
Jeez.
only dub.
That I mean that's something for the travel curse for you.
Yes, it is.
Jeez.
Michigan State, a 5-point favorite going into Ann Arbor against Michigan.
I'll never pick against Michigan State. Love Michigan State.
You love your boy Izzo.
I mean, that's like the Mahomes. You got to beat you want to be the best. You got to beat the best. And coming into later seasons, he gets his teams ready. So I'm taking Michigan State.
I'm gonna take Michigan in the 5.
There you go.
Northwestern, 3-point favorite at Indiana.
I'm taking Indiana
At home.
at home.
And I'm gonna take Northwestern. I hate Indiana. I think their team's crap. They beat Maryland too. Kansas, 6-point favorite. Going into Norman against Boomer Sooner. Oklahoma.
I'm going Oklahoma. Another home fave.
So am I. I think they might win that game outright.
I think so.
They're not very good, Kansas, outside of Fog Allen. I mean, when they're in Lawrence, they're really good at home. I
Yeah.
mean, they got boat raced by Texas Tech by 29 the other night.
Yes. Won a couple units on that.
You what? You lost?
one on that one.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's a good bet. Baylor giving 5. I'm sorry, giving 5 to WVU in Morgantown.
That's I can't pick against WVU at WVU and getting points. It's a tough place to play. Football, basketball, soccer. I mean, they're just it's a hometown crowd, and they get after it.
Yeah, I agree. Iowa State as Texas Tech. I'm sorry, Texas Tech versus Iowa State in Ames. Iowa State's favored by 5.
Laying the points, taking Iowa State.
And I'm gonna take Texas Tech. Marquette versus UConn. UConn's favored by 4.
Marquette
On the road.
on the road.
And I'll take UConn, even though I hate them, but I'll take them. Arizona State at Arizona. Arizona's favored by 11.
I when I'm betting, when it gets into the double digits, it's very hard for me to lay that many points. But here, I would lay the points, lay the 11.
Me too. I like Arizona here. So these are the FP lines. I didn't tell you this because these games are so far out. There's no lines for them. So I just throw some lines together based on past scores.
Gotcha.
I'm not sure how. Some of them have gotten pretty close to being accurate, but most of them are not.
Got it.
Oregon versus Oregon State in Corvallis. Oregon State's a 3-point favorite.
I'm going to take Oregon State.
So am I. Kentucky versus Auburn. Auburn's a 4-point favorite.
I'm taking Auburn. I've been winning a lot of money on Auburn.
Have you?
Have
I hate Bruce Pearl.
won 5 units last night on him.
True. I'm gonna take Auburn too because I've been betting Kentucky these last 4 losses, picking them, not betting them, picking them, and I haven't won once. I mean, they've been terrible. Florida versus Georgia in Athens. Georgia's a 4-point favorite.
I'll take the home guys to Georgia.
And I'm gonna take Florida. And then the last game of the week, Texas A&M at Alabama. Alabama's a 6-point favorite.
Yep, taking Alabama.
The home favorite.
Home favorite.
So much. All right. It's good picks. Some great games coming up. I mean, we're winding the season down here. I do think there's still so much parity, man. I cannot believe what teams are beating what teams. Texas Tech beating Kansas by 29. I mean, Tech's good, but Kansas is loaded with 5-star everywhere. I mean, they're
Yeah,
Mickey D's all over that roster.
definitely.
They have no business losing to Texas Tech anywhere by 29 points, but that just goes to show you, man, that in any given day, I think any of these teams can beat anybody.
And I think that's the exciting thing about just college sports. I mean, yeah, it's happening in football, it's basketball. I mean, football, it's going to be a while before some of the bigger programs get a little chink in the armor. But again, look at how many kids left Alabama this year and going other places, and it just makes it fun as far as for you and I, people on the couch watching these games that truly anybody's got an opportunity. But um, it's fun to see the lines and trying to make the bets to see what Vegas sees to be able to make it make it interesting.
Hard to win gambling when that's the case, though. You know that, right?
Oh yeah, definitely huge.
I mean, you almost, I don't know. I don't even know. I mean, yeah, I don't even know how it's hard to win because I like to analyze a bet. You like to just place the bet.
Place the bet. We didn't even talk about as far as my claim to fame. It's TikTok. Of
The
finding
TikTok.
finding bets on TikTok. All these guys that are self-proclaimed experts. Trying to give out their free picks for you to sign up to their service. So they want to put something good out there. And for me, if I can find two or three guys that are on the same game, it's usually a pretty good recipe for a win.
Well, you try to find more than one opinion for the same game. That's
Yes.
a good idea.
Yeah, or somebody that's willing to put out some pretty massive bets on a particular game, shows just more potentially more confidence.
Right. All right, man. Well, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. Great opinions on, especially on the sports gambling stuff. I think that is just, I'd like to get involved in it somehow. I think there's a lot of money to be made for people who are passionate about sports and about gambling. I mean, forget about being a handicapper for a casino because that's all computers now, man.
Yeah,
The humans have been kicked out of that business, right? I mean,
yeah,
that's all algorithms, and I
yeah,
mean, I've gone to place a bet, a live bet, and it is like a moving like a rabbit, man. It's like
yeah,
all over the place.
sure.
You
Well,
got you got to hit bet and hope that it sticks, because sometimes it moves.
yes,
FanDuel is a huge mover of bets as you're placing the bet.
yes. They all are. I mean, 9 times out of 10, even again, I'll load 2, 3, 4, 5 games into the cart, and before I check out, two or three of them have moved as far as the lines.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Unbelievable.
It's not a big bet that moves the lines anymore. It's the game if you're betting live. I mean, they're watching the game, but the computer's watching the game and watching for
Yes.
trends and the
Well,
point.
especially the delay, what you're seeing on TV is, much later than the live piece. One of the other things I've always, wondered of, if you're sitting there in the stadium, hard to get really good service, but can you capitalize on something of a live bet, based on being there live and betting it,
Yeah.
through the app. What kind of delay is there? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I like to do that. I've done it at Maryland games, but mostly because I'm watching how the game's playing out and you're really focused in
Yeah,
and
you
you
get
can
a
see
you
where
get
the
a
game's
a, a
heading.
feel for what's going on. Yep.
Yeah. And then I lose. And I take
Yeah.
the I take it. All right, man. Thank you, Lou.
My pleasure. It
I'll
was a
talk to
good
you. See
time,
you.
buddy.
Bye bye.